Hello and welcome to a tournament of lies, a podcast where three friends around the globe try and rate every single video game ever on an ever-expanding list. Hi, my name is Danny, joined by Mr. Dennis Walsh in Waterford, Ireland. How you doing, Deno?
I'm great. Glad to be here in Waterford, not on the podcast.
Yes, you are here at the ripe old time. What is it, 8 o'clock?
No, it's coming up on 7, so yeah.
All right.
I was going to chastise you for being wrong, but then I was like, why would I do that? That's rude.
This is the beautiful thing about being all of us having our own timetables now, is we can record this whenever the fuck we want. Isn't that right, James? How are you doing?
Exactly. That freedom is something that I think we all enjoy. You never understood it before, Danny. You're a 9-to-5er, ham and egger. Now you're one of us, ham and egger.
Ham and egger? Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Strap hanger.
What am I now?
You're one of us. You're one of us.
If I'm not a ham and egger, what am I? I had waffles and banana for breakfast. Am I a blue waffle?
Exactly.
A blue waffler? It was actually a blueberry waffle as well. I didn't even think about that when I was eating it. Guess I'm throwing out the rest of that packet. Okay, so today on Tournament of Lies, we're going to talk about some new-ass video games that we haven't talked about yet, because last week we got rid of some of our hot Purgatory games. Amnesia: The Dark Descent, Until Dawn, Blood, not Tecmo Super Bowl, actually. We've still got with that in there. Blood is down at number 50, because our list is 52 now. Amnesia went in at 40. We had... and then we had some interesting new games. We had Tomb Raider come in at 15, and Mass Effect enter the top 10 at 10. The third in that was Killzone, the first one, which we didn't have two people who played enough of it, so we're going to add that to Purgatory, along with Zombie U, Silent Hill 2, Slender, and Tecmo Super Bowl. And we'll get to those in a little bit later. How about that, gentlemen?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Let's get back to the list, because the emails keep coming in. lies@tournamentoflies.com. And we have some absolute doozies this week. I'm going to start with this one because time is running out on it. This is from Chris Berg. He says, the 3 best games that came out in summer months. I think we're technically not summer anymore. It's October. It feels like it's deep into fall, as they say here. Yeah, I know. The worst, but let's not dwell on it. So 3 games here that came out in the summer months. The first one, I'm going to do these chronologically. Okay. The first of these came out, I guess, a while ago now, 2009. Man, that makes... 2008. August 6th, 2008. It was one of the big sort of summer of arcade games on Xbox Live Arcade. And made by one man, who has since made one other game, which came out earlier this year. This is the Bay Area's own Jonathan Blow, his first game on his own, Braid.
Oh.
Braid. Any takers for Braid? I played Braid.
I've played Braid.
Yep.
Deno?
We're all takers here.
I've completed Braid.
Same.
Dennis? Yeah?
Yeah.
James?
No, I got deep into it. I never finished it.
Okay. So Braid, for those who don't remember, I'm sure many people do, was like one of the biggest games that came out that year, regardless of size. Was the sort of 2D Mario, thinking person's Mario or something. It's maybe a bit reductive of Mario, but Mario with an extra element to it, I guess. Lots of like time mechanics in the 4 different, I guess, zones that the game sort of has, getting increasingly difficult as you go on. Sort of a replay mechanic at the start, and then there was the ring, which was kind of like time agnostic, and then there was like this mirror mode where whenever you did anything, your like shadow would kind of do it again. And it kind of it was an interesting concept, because they kept throwing you levels that kind of looked similar later on in the game, and you'd use the mechanics differently. Dennis, what are your lasting impressions of Braid?
Yeah, I definitely want to say style over substance, but that would be like an outrageous thing to say in this game, because it is a very substantial game with a lot going on, and it's not a one-trick pony either, which I think maybe was one of the very few criticisms that could have been leveled, because if it could be accused of that, but it did kind of refresh the time thing. It wasn't like one time-based mechanic and just be done with it. Gorgeous looking game. I think it was probably one of the first of those where it's kind of like, we're actually trying to do a little bit more with the new modern type of
like
kind of side-scrolling game, and you're bringing in that lovely watercolor kind of look and all this, and it did look absolutely gorgeous. told a little bit of a story in the background, which I don't know how, like some people, like, because you could just completely avoid it because it was all like reading these little books here and there in the game. So some people would get into it and some people wouldn't. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely one of the standouts from the Xbox Live Arcade in the 360's tenure. No doubt about that. Along with, there's ones that went under the radar that I think were close to its equal, like PB Winterbottom and stuff like that. But it was a sensationally fun game. I think it did a lot for the resurgence in this type of game. And yeah, sure, he's gone on to do a game this year, like you said, that's been pretty important.
That was the first Summer of Arcade. I have a list of the other games here just for nostalgia's sake. Let's remind ourselves. Bionic Commando Rearmed, Braid, Castle Crashers,
yes,
Galaga Legions, which I barely remember at all, and Geometry Wars 2.
Oh, yeah, super.
That was a pretty good one. Let's just go through them because it's actually kind of fun. 2009 had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Shadow Complex, Splosion Man, TMNT, Turtles in Time, Reshelled, and Trials HD.
Oh, yeah.
That was a goodie. I think maybe 2010 might be... it was pretty good. Castlevania, Harmony of Despair, Hydro Thunder Hurricane, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, which is way better than you'd think. Limbo and Monday Night Combat. 2011 had Bastion, From Dust, Fruit Ninja Connect, Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, Toy Soldiers, Cold War. And then 2012 was a bit of a fucking, I don't know, hybrid. Dust and Elysian Tale, Deadlight, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, and Racketeer. Racketeer was alright. And then they did one in 2013, only 4 games. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, Charlie Murder, Flashback, and another TMNT game, Out of Shadows, and that was the last one they did. So yeah, you gotta say, Braid is probably up there in the top, maybe the best game that was ever put out on that.
Yeah, that's up there. I think people would give a few other games in there. Limbo's definitely it's in the argument, it's in the discussion, but
Trials as well, maybe.
Trials for sure
Trials
for me anyway,
fun.
but that's maybe a personal preference. But I think these games are of high quality, and I think maybe going back over the few years of it actually says probably a pretty successful campaign over the years, even though it's trailed off. Can't go on forever, but pretty good. We haven't heard from Senior James on Braid.
Yeah. Braid.
What can I say about the platform version of Blinks the Cat that hasn't already been? I played this on PC. It was just sort of interesting to sort of hear what you guys are saying about the arcade. Just as sort of a sidebar, what made Xbox Arcade different than, like, say, the normal Xbox Live game download?
Nothing. At one stage, they were just the Summer of Arcade thing was like a promotion.
Okay.
It was like, hey, we're gonna make a load of games come out on
like every week during
this
summer or something.
Yeah.
So he has a highlight. Okay, very, very cool. Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure because, like, as you said, it was sort of the games that were coming out were pretty cool and it varied. It
was just that they weren't selling boxed games digitally yet. Like,
yeah, okay.
It was only the indie stuff, so that's why it was called the arcade. It was like smaller, and then eventually, I guess when they started selling the box games, XBLA kind of became redundant as a subset. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, Braid. It's a very interesting game. I think Dennis pointed some of the things I enjoyed about it, which were the sort of style and look to it. There was a push for, like, a lot of those, and there still is, for, like, once it's an indie game, there's just, like, this weird 8-bit faux renaissance.
Yeah. And
Braid sort of went against that. It sort of wanted to look different. It was very polished. It was hard as well. Like, I mean, started off, I guess to get everything you needed on the level was hard. It started off and you sort of easily travel through the first few, and then you instantly almost hit a wall trying to solve everything. So it was interesting. It did a lot well. I didn't realize there's only a team of one person.
Well, I think he might have had like help with the graphics, and the audio was all for. I think it was all from Audio Network. I think he just got royalty ass, or maybe it was royalty free. I can still remember the music, all those like nice little twee, like orchestral kind of light orchestra,
little harp things. Yeah,
it was great.
What was the game he released this year? Out of curiosity.
The Witness.
Okay, I've not played that at all.
Witness is great. Very different.
Okay.
3D as fuck. It's like the most 3D game ever, because basically like your perspective is what governs what how you complete that game. Like you said, there's like the different mechanics they used. It was the sort of the initial one was just you're able to rewind time, and then they had the green doors and green keys that were sort of they didn't matter. And then they had the one that was the next levels, I think, were when you moved forward on the horizontal plane, almost like a record player, you made the level play. And if you moved backwards, you made it. If you move right, it would play forward, and if you move left, it would go backwards. Then there was the shadow stuff, and then there was I think it was hesitance mode, which was the one with the like key or something or the magic ring. It wasn't it? Where, like if you dropped it, it was, I don't know, like you drop it and then the time would be slower within the ball or something like that. It was cool. It was kept you on your toes the whole time. And then the story was kind of like telling this story about regret and a relationship and, turning back time and stuff, which was, it was interesting. That last level was really cool.
Unfortunately didn't get that far. But I mean, even to open a game with like the world pretty much burning is sort of a very interesting way of placing it.
Was it burning?
I thought the whole first, I could be wrong, I thought the first thing, like, you leave your town and it's like on fire.
Oh, you go across that little,
so like,
like little faux Yoshi at the end of each level with the princess in another castle or whatever, or Yoshi. I know people are going to give you shit for saying that. They say Yoshi over here.
It's Yoshi.
They say it wrong. That's cool.
Yeah,
I think they do anyway. I'm going to have somebody give me shit now because I've just fucking said it wrong twice. So
it's Yoshisaurus Munch Koopa, and that's it. Yoshisaurus, not Yoshisaurus. That doesn't make sense.
Good point. All right, should we list Braid?
Yes.
The first of Chris Berg's games.
Chris de Berg or Chris Berg?
Chris Berg. I wasn't going to say it. You did.
I had to. Because I take all that low-hanging fruit.
I got called Daniel O'Donnell my whole life, so fuck it. Share and share alike. So what are we thinking for Braid? Braid is a pretty good game. I'm thinking pretty high. Dennis, you want to take a swing at this first?
22.
Better than Skate. Not as good as LA Noire.
Maybe 21. Maybe 20. Sorry. Creeping.
It's creeping up. The problem is Papers, Please, isn't it? We're getting into...
The problem is Papers, Please. I won't allow it. I'll allow it if you guys want it, actually. I take it all back.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Because this is a different... I guess you guys went the distance with this one. I enjoyed what I did play of it. But I think I got to the party late on it.
Right, yeah. And PC was released a good while later.
Yeah, and so I think it was like one of those things where I was like, it was fun. It was probably part of a Humble Bundle or something. And I played a bit of it and was like, But,
I don't know. God, Braid is like legitimately one of the best 2D platformers ever, I think. It's kind of sits alone. There's not many other games like it. Like I know Limbo and all that stuff kind of like tried to make like to emulate it or do sort of like a little, like James said, a 2D platformer that wasn't just like this 8-bit revival kind of situation. But yeah, I don't know. Like in a way, none of those games have come close to this because it's a platformer, but the mechanics of platforming are only like so much of the. It's like more of a puzzle platformer than anything else, and the puzzles in it are super smart. Like it was one of these games where you'd be like scratching your head for hours, and then be like, "Oh, and you'd feel amazing when you figured it out." And the same, you sort of like took that to the most extreme degree with The Witness. But this was definitely like, especially back then, like people were like, like Dennis said, games didn't look like this. 2D games did not look like that. And then it was like intentionally not trying to be that. It was like doing its own thing. And then mechanically, it was also like intentionally doing its own thing. Like there was only like one baddie in the game or two. There was like the little weird Gumbo lion things. And then those like, it was like rabbits that dug themselves out of the ground or something that would chase after you. And that was it. I don't think there was, and then the boss, I guess, but it was just a big Gumbo. And like even that, like, so it wasn't even about like killing things or enemy variety. It was just, I don't know. I like it a lot. Ugh.
I do too. Like, so I hope that as we like regurgitate every week, like me saying something in around 20 isn't in any way disparaging. It's a super game, and I think it sits in a very lofty position among the modern day platformers. Like, I guess if you want to talk about a modern day platformer, but in a very different direction on our list, we got Super Meat Boy. For me, it actually doesn't touch it, and you know, it's See, Super Meat Boy is one of these games that you almost think isn't smart because it's going for hard and fast.
Yeah.
But it's like incredibly funny and incredible level design throughout, from like start to finish, and like it is actually incredibly intelligent in its own way. So
it controls like a dream.
Like it's just the best, and like I remember like how much I loved N+, and then when I went back to N+ after Super Meat Boy, I just found it horrible. And I put in, I'm the kind of person who put in like 30 or 40 hours in the N+.
Yeah.
This was everything to me, and I was like, I'll never find a game that I like this. And then the Super Meat Boy, and I went back to N+, and even N++ that came out years later, and I'm just like, this is just...
Yeah.
Now, that's part of the difficulty of N+, is that the controls aren't supposed to be just that simple or just that exact. But I found it just impossible, like just less fun after playing Meat Boy, because everything, it's like it was an extension of myself, the controller, after a while. But like Braid operates, I suppose, in a different area though. It goes for this, it's as much puzzle as it is platform, if not more. Probably more.
I almost even think it's like it's not even really a platform game. Like it's almost an injustice. Like as Danny was saying, it's like it's a puzzle game, I think, first and foremost.
There are like specific instances where you were like, there were like frames and you were trying to like clear people, but it was few and far between.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. To me, it doesn't, like, it's not that high. It's not top 10, I don't think.
No.
It's the top end of the next 10, I feel.
This is sort of, I guess, I mean, again, people are definitely putting in their games, but it's sort of very interesting because, like, I do feel like a lot of the games we're getting are the creme de la creme over the years of the indie game.
Yeah, we need some shit. This is it. This is the call out. Send us your shit. Send us shit that we've probably played, because that's the other problem, is that like we do get emails with shit in them and it's the most obscure shit. Send us like AAA, AA garbage fires next week, please. lies@tournamentoflies.com. But yeah, James, you're right. We are getting like a lot of the...
Like it's like this is, and again, they're all like the sort of in their own ways, like the different levels where it's like, oh, okay, Braid, it did so much right, and then we'll have like another indie game that was like the one that in 2005 set the mark on fire. This is the game that actually like started it all.
Yeah, look where Stanley Parable is. It's 23. It's like it's like halfway on our list, and it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and I definitely and again like that. And see, that's the thing. I definitely would play Stanley Parable over Braid again. Papers, Please. No. Again, Papers, Please, I think I think I have more love for Papers, Please than I do Braid.
Sounds like both of you do.
Well, Papers, Please and Stanley Parable have this incredible comparison kind of side where they're actually 100% designed for multiple playthroughs. So it's like it's a test we can't use here. We can't say Stanley Parable and Papers, Please versus Braid on what I'd like to pick up next, because I could pick up Papers, Please, Stanley Parable, get a full playthrough of either in half an hour,
right,
and something maybe that I've never seen before. Whereas Braid, I'd be replaying a full game. Obviously not play it all, but it's a different type of thing. I can see Braid being in the high teens. I could if somebody who's just more into that kind of game, like you might be, Danny, I could see it. I know you said for you it won't, but I could see it cracking the top 10 because it's as good at what it does as pretty much any of these games. As pretty much, like, in fairness to the guy, he's a bit of a blowhard, but nah, he's not. He's a very intelligent man, and he cares very deeply about the design of video games. And like, as much as his opinions might sometimes be a bit arsey, they're like he comes from a place of knowledge, and he is really good at it, and he has perfected it. That's again, that comes down to horses for courses, but what he does is exceptional. What he's done here in his first, was it his first really big release?
I don't know. First big release. I don't think many people knew about Blow before this one.
Sure, and then he's backed that up again with Witness, and so he knows his game design. So from that, it's not this. I don't know. It's better.
It's better than Crash Bandicoot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can see that. You see, for me though. And it's one of these stupid things, and I hate it because I imagine everybody listening to this get me sick of me talking about biases. But say for me, it could easily go above anything from 12 down through 18. But again, Papers, Please is also a king of what it does.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think Yeah, because I could see it higher than that. Then I could see it in 11, like no problem.
Yeah.
But I could easily see it also in like 16. It's just that whole area is getting. It's like, how the fuck are we supposed to say? It's like two deaths. It's like between like NHL 94 and Infinite and Tomb Raider and Gears of War. It's just like they're all 8 out of 10 games. They're all like solid 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 games. And it's like trying to pick between them is like a fucking. Well, I guess that's what we signed up for. So better.
Okay, so your gut at the moment would be 11, 12, yeah?
No, because Tomb Raider, man.
Okay.
I love that first Tomb Raider a lot. And Bioshock Infinite, I really like, even though, I don't know. I could. 16 is kind of where I'm feeling now.
Okay, above Crash. James?
I was thinking in the 20s, but we'll see what. Because I don't know. For me, I'm like,
I guess.
It's both arguments. I'm not against it being in the teens, like because while I can appreciate what it does, I can appreciate what it probably started. But I don't know, because I do sit here and I see like the Stanley Parable. I see even something like Transistor.
It's better than Transistor. It's way better than Transistor. Yeah. I love Transistor. I got a poster of Transistor on the wall. But fucking Braid's a better game.
Yeah, okay, I could agree with that.
Better Pottery here by a gigantic margin.
It's probably better. It's probably better than Stanley Parable.
That's a big gulf, isn't it? 25 to 26 is a real fucking hops, skipping, and jump.
Yeah, and actually after that, it's the kind of.
I guess
that's chewy middle.
Yeah, the sequel avenue.
To go on what Danny was saying there again, just talking about our teens. Our teens there is a mess. Like, not a bad mess, but like it's probably the most subjective area of our list, even above the top 10. Because for me, depending on what I like I'd say I'd be happy to have this above NHL 94, Crash Bandicoot, Sunset Overdrive, because those games mean nothing to me.
Right.
But then going down through it, Ratchet and Clank, it was a game that I played recently and loved. Mario Strikers has this kind of area in my multiplayer life, and Gears of War and Papers, Please are again games that I played the hell out of and loved. So it's like there's this stratification that at certain points I don't want it to go higher, but I don't want it to go lower than something else, and it's a real mess. Like something that might be, I don't want it to go lower and say it could go above Strikers Charged, but I feel like it shouldn't go above Papers, Please, and it's
weird, because that's the thing.
I feel like we should take a look at the 20 to 10 sometime or something. Just do an episode where we reorder that shit or something.
Well, we still have the parole board that will eventually get done. Maybe now that we have a bit more time, we can look into that.
I will. You know what? Again, I think Tomb Raider becomes the glass ceiling for Braid. Just
okay.
I think that, and I could see it going 16. Yeah. I can agree with Danny putting it 16. Again,
I can see that.
Is it better than? I think it's a more perfect game than Gears of War and Crash. That's the only reason it feels good there. It's definitely better than Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think Papers, Please is going on the parole board.
I think it could, but it might just end up going lower.
Yeah.
I think 16 is really good. I think I'm comfortable with it. Danny, you'd go for bat for it. You could equally have put it a little bit higher. I think everyone's comfortable with that. I think your point is perfect. Like the Crash Bandicoot is early in the first wave of 3D platformers, and it's nostalgia ridden, but it is kind of that one trick pony. Gears of War was better than its own series eventually.
Yeah.
So.
All right, 16 for Braid then. There we go. That was rather painful for a first game, but
but it's a great game to have on the list.
Yeah, tremendous. Let us know what you think. Liza@eternaloflies.com. And if there are any games on the list that you want in Parole Board, either put it in the comments here on YouTube or Liza@eternaloflies.com if you're listening to this on the podcast, I guess. Okay, next game. I gotta be honest, folks. These two might be harder. Even harder than, I don't know. The last one's a real fucking doozy. We're gonna have great fun. So this next game came out in May of 2015 to definitely the lowest selling console of this generation. This is created by Nintendo. It was their first new IP, I feel like, in a long time. Certainly the first one they sort of threw their energy behind. It's a shooter.
Yes.
For children.
Kind of.
Kind of. That sounds like you both figured out that we're talking about Splatoon. Who's played Splatoon?
Parole board. Oh, you have? Okay. I haven't. Yeah. I have not received or played Splatoon yet.
Splatoon. I have also not played Splatoon, and I've been dying for an excuse to play Splatoon.
Amazing.
Okay, so
not the game.
Excellent. I think your Twitch viewers are gonna have some fun with us playing Splatoon for a while.
Awesome.
That'll be perfect.
Okay, we'll stick that one on the parole board there, or on the Purgatory of Lies.
That is a game that like. And I can be very, very staunch where like I don't want to play something, and I sort of saw it and I was like, team shooter, paint instead. It's kind of like this weird, I guess it's team shooter the Blob, and I was like, I think I'll pass. But
that's
then
a really good comparison, team shooter the Blob.
Super, huh?
And then I was just like, you know what? And I just was like, fine, good for them. They put it out. But I'm still to this day, because I follow some Nintendo stuff. You still see stuff about Splatoon. Oh, yeah. And I've just now it's like slowly the fact that people talk about it and talk about it so fondly. I'm like, okay, maybe I do need to get Splatoon. So
good excuse to give it a go. Then it might be pretty easy to pick up on eBay as well or something. I imagine Wii U games or
I'll check eBay, but I do know like other places they still try and get full hog for this.
Full hog for that, really?
Yeah.
I guess if you bought it on the Nintendo eShop, it's probably going to cost a fortune. Right now, it's on it's $45 on Amazon. So particularly cheap. But yeah, all right, that's on Purgatory. Good game. Another great summer game. Summer, I guess it is. May came out. May 28th, 2015, and our next game came out on May 24th, 2016. This year. I have a feeling all three of us have played this, gentlemen.
Hope so.
It's another first-person shooter. This one made by yet another company who isn't famous for their first-person shooter games. A company that's been around for a long, long time. Another new IP for one of these companies. And possible Game of the Year contender for 2016. This is Overwatch.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was always going to come down.
The pipe, right? This is a good time to talk about Overwatch, I feel.
Will this be done not if this gets listed. When this gets listed, this will probably be our newest game on the list, I'm pretty sure. Do we have anything newer?
No, you might be right.
I think you're right. I'm trying to think what other 2016 games we have on here.
I think like Rocket League is like super new for our
Yes.
But that was probably summer 2015 or earlier.
July or August of last year.
Free on PSN, yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what I mean?
I think this
is PS Plus. Yeah.
Very few games from. I don't think we have any games from 2016. I think we have very few games from 2015. I mean, Sunset Overdrive's on there. That's 2014. Yeah, so definitely one of our newest. And we're kind of outside the hype bubble of it now. I feel like we're kind of come out the other side, so it's a good time to sort of take stock of it. All three of us played shitloads of this, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. James, then let's go you first. How do you feel about Overwhistle?
I don't think it gets past Duck Hunt because of that stupid because of either the McCree ult or because of that diva with her ship, because like it's just dumb. Like there's no distance you can be away from it and not die. You know what? It would be Blizzard who makes a team-based sort of like first-person shooter this accessible and fun and do it so well. It is a game that like I thought many others where I've sort of been roped into getting it, and I thought I would put 15 minutes into it before I was like, I'm done. I'm not interested anymore. But Overwatch is a hell of a lot of fun. It is colorful. It is beautiful. It has enough difference in every character that it keeps things interesting. And it has been a nice alternative to switch to from Dota 2 for 20-30 minutes.
That's a good point. This is like one of the only games that's broken you guys out of your Dota cycle. I mean, Dennis literally has to run Dota he's so dependent on Dota. He has to run Dota in the background to make sure his PC doesn't crash while we record this.
That is why people don't
screen share. It's legit.
PSA, Dota is heroin. Without it, his computer system literally shuts down and does not run anymore without running in the background.
Sense, but it's true. Brain truth.
Dennis, sorry, go on, James.
Oh no, I mean that's like it's a very good game. Like I this type of game I'm not really that into anymore. Like we jumped on the Star Wars Battlefront, and as I say, which is another beautiful game, but Star Wars Battlefront bandwagon. I jumped on like a Call of Duty bandwagon a year or two ago, and like in those, I'm just like I just it just doesn't for me do what I need to do. Maybe because it's kids with young, fresh arms,
new
fingers, sharp eyes are able to just headshot me from 40 feet away. But no, this if Team Fortress 2 needed a reason to sort of reamp, it was probably this Overwatch game.
All right, Dennis, Overwatch. What are you feeling?
Yeah, big fan. I think it's a really good game. A lot of fun with it. It is one of few competitive shooters to ever work on a console, which is great. Which just gives it a kind of freebie, bit of a pass. I do have some complaints coming from the MMO side, MOBA side, which is that I think its hero pool is somewhat limited for a full MOBA in that it does get a little bit repetitive when it comes to team composition. But that's, I think, a necessary evil starting out, that it has to, because if you throw 60 or 80 heroes into the pool for new players, for the entire community, then it's just going to be a shit show for a long time, and maybe you're just going to lose too many people for it. So I can see that. But then even excuse me, sorry guys, MOBAs that I don't care for, like League of Legends, they still have that huge variety of heroes to choose from that allow these games to really be incredibly strategic and deep. But this, again, I suppose going for the first person shooter, you're going to have a bit more of that kind of twitch movement. So it's a good marrying of those two competitive scenes at the moment, somewhere between your CS and your MOBA, exactly. So
what do you think about variety in the rest of the game then, like with like levels and modes and stuff?
Yeah, I think, look, they probably have more than the average MOBA. The average MOBA has one map, and that's it. You just play it one mode. Like, okay, it sometimes might have some goofy mode that some people play on the side, but nothing that they play legitimately competitively. It does perfectly fine for that, and you maybe need the visual changes like you do in, say, it's a balance between the two. So CS is all about learning the different maps. MOBAs are all about learning the different heroes. This is somewhere in between. You learn the maps, you learn the heroes, and you're doing whatever else. It's visually interesting and changes enough. I find it hard to watch the competitive side, but it doesn't really hold my attention. But same with CS. So maybe if you're coming from that direction, this is even more interesting or something. I don't know. It's it was a close to flawless release, which is pretty big deal when it comes to online games like this. Blizzard know what they're doing there. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of time for it. I'd look at something like Gears of War. I know we're not going straight into the rating, and it being it's superior to that. So that's kind of where I'm looking at its floor. But Danny, hit us with some
Overwhistle. I mean, it's weird, right? Because when this game came out, I'd already put in probably over 100 hours in various alphas and betas. So when I think about it now, I'm like, am I still playing Overwatch? And I'm not. And I probably will get back into it. Out of interest, the two of you are also not playing Overwatch right now, right?
Not a huge amount.
Not really. Every now and again.
A game here and there.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know, it's weird. I feel like the bar is set so high for games like this because they're either like the biggest game ever, especially when a Blizzard makes it and it's an online FPS. You're like, okay, this is either incredible and timeless or it's just another FPS online and it fucking disappears. And right now, I don't know if it's the incredible timeless game. It felt like it was for the first month. It felt like everyone was playing this game. And everyone and their mother was playing on a console or on PC. Like, it didn't seem to matter, and it didn't seem to matter your FPS proficiency. Like, people were playing this who don't usually play FPS games, and people were playing it who play FPS games all the time, and we're like having this incredible summer of that and Doom to feast on for months. So I know that's the sort of thing that stops me from thinking it gets into like the top tier of what we're talking about. But I do think it is the best team shooter to come out in years. I think it's better than Team Fortress 2, and I adored Team Fortress 2. I mean, it's different, but I think for them to put this many different characters into one game, which is almost like a quality street assortment box of like first person tropes. Like they have the Rocketeer, soldier from Team Fortress. They have snipers from Counter-Strike. It's got like parkoury people from fucking, I don't know, Brink. It's got like, massive tanks. It's got a Titan from fucking Titanfall and Diva. Like, it's just this, like, I don't know, it's almost like they said, hey, people like playing loads of different types of FPSs, so let's try and put them all into the same game. And it works. Like, there were balance issues a little bit, but like a lot of them were just people trying to learn shit. Like Bastion, the first 2 weeks was just like, no, there are counters, you just need to fucking learn it and stop running into his lane. And like there were like map balancing issues that people sort of picked around, but like for the most part, yeah, like you said, Dennis, it was a pretty flawless launch, and it was a game that managed to teach you to be all these different characters and made all these other characters interesting in the playfield. And then you were like, oh, I want to learn how to play Genji, or I want to learn how to play Roadhog. Like, I keep getting killed by Roadhog. And then you'd learn Roadhog relatively quickly, and then the mastery took a while. But yeah, so I don't know, it's like I feel like it's an amazing bookend to like 20 years of first person shooter design, where they've basically collected everyone's favorites and put it into this like super jovial experience that, like you were saying, kind of felt like Gears of War as well, where everyone was playing it. Like, it was like this event game. And I'm not sure if Lucio Ball was super great. I'm not sure if competitive mode is super great, and they've sort of stumbled a little bit, I feel, in the past couple of months to get people that retention in like the opposite way that Rocket League did, where they were like, oh, we have all these people playing and we're going to add all this fucking dope shit to the game so it's even more fun. So that's where I feel like this probably would have been higher if we were still in the hype bubble for it, whereas coming out the other side and the past couple of months they've had, I feel like it maybe has wavered a bit. But yeah, if we look at the list, I still think it's like definitely top 15, but not top 5.
Oh no.
Gosh, no way. I think top 20, and then I'll scan the list and see. But it is interesting, you bring that up. I wonder if like, was Overwatch going away, was it trying to present itself as like an all-star first-person shooter battle game, or was it a case of like, oh, we just don't take ourselves too seriously, we have all these sort of stereotypes? And
from talking to them, it sounded like they were literally trying to make Action Quake, and like Action Quake, and like they have the grapple from Quake 2 hook mod in there in Widowmaker, and like it's like one for one, like we're trying to make like have a 90s shooter revival, instead of it being like, oh, we're gonna try and make a fucking I don't know, like,
yeah, because again, like,
version of Titanfall or Call of Duty,
Yeah, because like even the characters are just like, I mean, they're very much like caricatures of almost everything. Like you have a McCree, or you have even like a Diva, or you have a Genji, and these are all like sort of characters that you're just very much like, oh, like it's almost a sort of tongue-in-cheek approach that they've just made. Like, they didn't make it funny. Right, it's almost like we're supposed to know the inside joke, but they haven't come out and said it yet. They still kept.
Well, you're right. It's like Team Fortress is very much the funny side of those stereotypes, where they're like the big guy who's like an idiot, and he's like, and the scout who's just like a dopey young punk, Whereas like this is a bit more grounded, but it's still stereotypes.
Yeah.
Where do you feel then, Dennis? Go for you first.
So yeah, I guess I've already nailed my mast to the floor, as the saying goes. Somewhere in around Gears of War, slightly above it, but not that much above it for me, and probably not above BioShock Infinite for me. So, kinda, I don't have a gigantic opinion on Tomb Raider, as has been laid bare to the floor. Either side of Braid, basically. What I'm trying to say.
Right. Fuck. Okay. I'm definitely the patsy this week then. James, where do you feel? You said like around 20, was it?
Well, in the top 20, I'm trying to see here. I mean, Was it as good as Battleborn? No one will ever know. Nobody play Battleborn.
Yes, it was way better than fucking Battleborn.
Can you prove that?
Can you prove that? Find me two people who play Battleborn.
Okay, I'm standing right here. I'm one of them.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of what was the other one? What was the big series they made? What was Gearbox's fucking bread and butter for the past 10 years? Fucking
Borderlands.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't a huge Borderlands fan, but I liked Borderlands. But Battleborn is just like, no.
Yeah, Borderlands was okay, but let's see here.
What are you thinking? You got it up. I'm like, I'm guessing you're going lower than Dennis.
No,
you're saying around 16 or higher, I guess, depending on how you're.
No, yeah, not too much higher. I would push it. I would put it again because I haven't played. I would put ahead of BioShock Infinite.
Right.
But
I would also put it ahead of BioShock Infinite. And I love that game, but not much higher. Like,
yeah, it does a lot of things right. I mean, it definitely can hold interest, and I think you had a good point. Like, what is it trying to do? Like, what will it do next? And it really has to sort of handle how it wants to do. You know, this is what is it? BattleNet. It's Blizzard.
It's not BattleNet anymore. They fucking
it's Battle.
Renamed it.
It is Battleborn. But no, it's this is Blizzard who've like. I think they've been so lucky with like World of Warcraft and StarCraft where they could just have that one game and then like 4 years down the line be like, okay, here's some DLC. And I don't know what their next move is with this game. Like, is it that they release an expansion pack and a map pack and a character pack? And will it actually bring people back? Is it interesting?
Yeah, we may have to relist it at some stage in the future.
Yeah,
we're listing it now based on what it is right now.
Yeah, then I'll say 14.
Okay, it's weird, right? I don't think it's not top 10 because it's not better than Mass Effect. It's not better than Worms.
No.
Mario Strikers Charged. We have so much love for that game in this podcast. It's similar to me. I feel like I have a similar attachment to that and this because it's like this game I played with my friends and have like amazing memories of playing with buddies with Overwatch. So to me, I could see it being like 13 because I'm not sure NHL 94. Like, I know it's like it's our highest rated sports game outside of Wii Sports, if that's really a sports game. It's our highest like pure sports game. So for me, I kind of feel like it's like I could see it going 13. I do think it's better than BioShock Infinite. I really like BioShock Infinite. It's got a fatty middle in it that, it's got a really good ending, which they fixed off the first BioShock, which had a terrible ending, and it has a really strong start. The first 2 hours of that game were fucking amazing. So for me 13. I might be pushing it a bit though. I get that. But I think if it goes above BioShock, which it does for me, and it seems to for James, but only based on the fact that he hasn't played it. So what do you think, Dennis?
So like, I'm okay with that. So my problem is BioShock Infinite, which I quite like, but say NHL above it means very little to me. Tomb Raider also below BioShock Infinite means very little to me. So
right.
I think it's better than Braid, so I'm kind of using that as a floor, and I'm using really Ratchet and Clank as its absolute ceiling. I think Ratchet and Clank 2, again, I know you guys haven't played each of is actually a phenomenal game. So, kind of 12, 13, truthfully, is it better than Mario Strikers Charged? Probably is.
Right,
because we love sitting in a room, having some beers, playing Mario Strikers Charged. Doesn't mean it's an absolute top game of all time. So, if you guys want to push this into 13, 12, I'm comfortable with that.
I'm fine. I could see 12.
Yeah, I could see 12. I think, if we have a real honest appraisal of ourselves, we could probably say that, Overwatch, even if we take it outside of us, which we don't tend to do, but like,
nor should we.
Yeah, because we are we have been entrusted with the responsibility of this list by God. So
yeah, overseers.
Jobless. So I could 12 seems good to me. Push down Mario Strikers. All right.
Fine with that.
Got some good games in here. Overwatch doesn't quite make the
small aside here.
Okay.
Which is no longer BattleNet, but Blizzard have the most obnoxious like update thing that I've never seen any other piece of software ever do. I have it up here on my screen here because I just tried to turn on Battle.net, which needs a new update, which is fine. So it comes up with a pop-up box saying, we've detected a newer version of Battle.net than the one you're attempting to launch. You may need to fix your shortcuts. Then it has a button, continue with the latest version.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Makes just no sense. So this is all like in their keeping, so it's not like a Windows thing, it's completely a Battle.net specific thing. So they've like what piece of software that updates doesn't do that? Have they moved the exe? No, they have not. Like, why is this happening? It's literally it's like
every time.
Yeah, every time there's an update. Like so if say it's in your myself and Dennis have talked about this, and it's just like the most passive aggressive like shortcut there is. Because I noticed it again yesterday. I'm like, that still happens. So like I have on my toolbar or my start bar the Battle.net symbol, and you click on it, it'll bring up Battle.net. So when Battle.net then updates, I don't move the symbol. Like for a long time as well, it was creating a second one. Like I would put a shortcut, and I'd click on it, and it'd still like create another button on the list. But pretty much comes up. Yeah, it comes up and just sort of being like, it's just your shortcuts
I've
today.
Never had that before.
It's the equivalent like of somebody in a shop. Like you ask them to do something that's slightly irregular, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't do that, but I'll do that for you."
Yeah.
But, okay, so you're gonna kind of make me feel super gratitude around. Fine, be weird about it.
2016. So mollycoddle.
What a world! What a world!
Let's jump into. I guess that is all of Chris Berg's list for now. We have
Good list.
Overwatch and Braid in there. Thank you so much, Chris.
Appreciate it.
We'll get to Splatoon.
Yes.
In an upcoming episode of A Tournament of Lies. We're hitting almost, we're coming up on 45, 50 minutes, I feel. So we've still got time to squeeze another 3 out here. Okay, which ones? There's some. Yeah, all right. We got some. Let's do this. We could end up having some Purgatory ones in here. We also might. How are we feeling about just 90s, or not 90s, early 2000s first-person shooters?
Decent.
You guys would be probably better than I.
We've a lot of them in here. Okay, how about late 90s driving games?
Are we talking driving games, or are we talking like Gran Turismo 2 driving games?
Which one of those would you be stronger with?
Both for those two games I mentioned, both. But it's
more so the arcadey sort of side.
Maybe.
Okay, let's go with that, because otherwise I feel like we've got so many first-person shooters in the 90s.
I will say though that like first-person shooters were pretty much video games for like a large period of time. Yeah, for a long time.
All right, let's move over then. Well, let's do this. This is from Jules. Hey boys, love the show. Here's my list. It's got 3 games. 2 of them are driving games from 1999.
Okay.
One of them is not a driving game from 2000. I won't get any more specific than that. The first game came out in 1999 on PlayStation 1, PC. The first in a series made by Reflections. It's worked on a little bit Sumo Digital, so it's Ubisoft joint. GT Interactive published it. And James mentioned it by name about 10 seconds ago. It's Driver.
Okay. Driver 1?
Driver 1.
Incredible game. Really was. Like, for what it did. It really was like the first... there's like spotty history, or like what games really first started to immerse yourself in a full world. Or like give you sort of like almost like sandbox environment. And like there's several games that did it. And Driver's definitely one of those ones that did it. And it was so freeing. Like even that I think it's the first main level is San Francisco.
Yeah, it's Miami and something else.
It's LA. LA is because I remember being bummed that like LA is always at night and it's raining, and I was like,
oh
what?
Right.
Okay. San Francisco I think was the big one, and then was it Miami or New York? I couldn't remember.
New York. Yeah. There was 4. Yeah. Yeah,
and it was but like I mean the whole for people who don't know or being around. Like the whole thing with Driver is that you're like a getaway man. Oh, shit. For people who don't know, and because I can't really remember.
Yeah, it was. You were doing jobs. You were dropping things off left. It was basically a point-to-point race.
Yeah.
You weren't racing other people necessarily. But
no. It was me, and it had the initial mechanics of like if you were around cops, you had to like sort of almost like drive. I think drive properly, like watch out what you're doing. You had a health bar. And then like that's how it was sort of tracked. But the main thing was like a point A to point B, do drop offs, escape the police, don't ruin your car before getting to it. But it was pretty much like on a whole map. Like that was huge. That like was pretty much a very good reenactment of San Francisco, or at least a part of it.
Yeah, it was kind of like a we kind of jumped the gun there a little bit. Dennis, have you played Driver?
Yes.
You did.
And
okay.
much of the series thereafter.
Okay,
and
cool. I also have as well. So we've all dabbled in it at some stage. It came out the same year as Crazy Taxi did, but this was kind of more of a realistic version, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Anything more to say, James?
It was a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, half the fun was always just trying to get across that Golden Gate Bridge and not dive to the cops.
Wasn't it just like a U-turn at the other side?
Yeah, it's pretty much like a big horseshoe, and then you just try to do it again. But no,
God, I have to play that now.
I had a lot of fun with Driver. Me and a friend a lot of fun with this game.
Yeah, I remember getting it. My mom gave me money when I went to visit my aunt in England, as money to spend for the 2 weeks I'm staying in Birmingham, and I just bought Driver, and then didn't get to play it for 2 weeks. I was just looking at the manual, so I was fucking all about this game. It was known as Driver: You Are the Wheelman in North America.
Hot name.
Oh God. The purity of Driver is beautiful. Like James was saying, this was 2 years before Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. So this was, one of the first games to really give you an open world. You couldn't get out of your car. You could in Driver 3, I think. But you sort of, I don't know, drove around as a getaway driver. And John Tanner was the name. He was like a double agent. He was an NYPD detective who was their best driver and going undercover to infiltrate organized crime or whatever. I adored this game. It was the first big open world. The draw distance was fucking garbage, but it still felt like it was a big open world.
I'm sure it's blocky as shit when we actually see it now. We'll probably see it and be oh, but at the time it looked beautiful. Yeah,
I remember driving in Miami because there was way less buildings. The draw distance was fucking atrocious, but didn't really care back then, at least. It probably doesn't hold up too well. Best-selling game in the Driver series. I think it's the best game in the Driver series. I think you guys probably exist.
Yeah.
Or probably agree. Driver San Francisco was actually fucking really good.
I think Driver San Francisco is the best game out of the lot.
Actually, maybe, yeah.
But I think they're both I'm saying if you take both these games right now, you'll probably say that. But kind of if you kind of mix in the different things for its time and what it led to, it's right up there. Funnily enough, you bring up GTA coming out a couple of years later, or GTA 3, excuse me. I remember the first time somebody told me about GTA 1.
Right.
They told me kind of everything about the game, but didn't tell me that it was not isometric, but just a top-down thing.
Yeah.
So in my head, as they were explaining this game to me, it was Driver, but you could get out of your car. So basically, I imagined GTA 3, but 5 years too early.
Right.
And but so this was the closest to that. And I remember just being amazed. I was this GTA game is just going to easily be the best thing that's ever happened to the entire world. But for its time, Driver might have been. It was incredibly great. And Crazy Taxi coming out at the same time is kind of interesting because these are really kind of sandboxy, but they're certainly the first games where you really felt like you were in a city and driving around that city in a 3D kind of way. It was really interesting, and a fun game, and a simple enough mechanic point to point. And I guess they're almost two sides of the same coin. Crazy Taxi and this, that's the arcade version, and this is the somewhat sim home,
the story mode version.
Version. A lot of time for it, a lot of time for the series. There's no point in us getting too much into Driver San Fran, but it's there's been good games coming out of this series, and we have to be thankful for its legacy.
Yeah. All right, let's stick in a list. Looks like we're pretty positive on Driver. Where are we thinking? I'll go first because I feel like I passed the ball to you guys on the last couple today. For me, it kind of exists. I mean, we've a really good top 30 of games.
Yeah.
Everything's really good there. So for me, it sort of exists in the between 24, probably be the highest, and 34. It's in there somewhere. If I had to pick a spot, I'd say maybe 28.
Yeah.
Were you thinking that as well?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I was even
Sure.
before even thinking, I was thinking 30. Again, because this is the thing. It's it probably wouldn't hold up the test of time. And this is sort of probably more while it did it amazingly, and for the time was the go-to game, was probably a prototype for a lot of things. I think again, to sort of say a mixture that what made a GTA 3, I think this was definitely the driving part of it. And then I think Urban Chaos, which was a great game that came out, like that no one ever talks about or really played,
right,
unfortunately, was probably the on the ground, going around city, you're in vigilante type of deal. It's good, but again, something will come out and knock it to the curbside. I think 28 or 30 or in there.
Yeah, actually, I think now that I'm looking at it a bit more, I could easily see it going like 31 or 30. What do you think, Dennis? You think 28?
There's a little bit of it that when we both say the same thing, that my gut wants to just put it there and just be like,
right, yeah.
But it's in that area. Like, I think it's better than Star Wars. I think it's better than Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
Like Spyro is like probably a harder one to say it's out and out better than, because of its legacy as well. But on the merits of the game, I think Driver is really good. I think we all like it. But then we like the 10 above it and the 10 below it anyway. So it's in pretty good company.
All right, is it a better racing driving game than Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer?
Absolutely.
Yes. I had more fun with it.
You say 28 then?
Yeah.
All right. Driver from 1999, 28. The first game sent in by Jules. The second game is another game that is about driving, although it's very arcadey and not really realistic at all. I'm a huge fan of this game. There was recently a remake or a rebirth of it called Grip, which I have played a lot of on Steam over the past couple of months. It only came out earlier this year. It's on early access. This is a game, I feel like it was French. I think it was a Psygnosis, actually. It was a Psygnosis game, who are no strangers to making racing games themselves. And this came out in March 24th, 1999. This is Roll Cage.
Oh, wow.
Do you guys play Roll Cage?
Not a huge amount.
Yeah, yes, back in the day, but I mean, it is not by a long period of time.
Okay.
I would have played some, but
yeah,
I wouldn't have a decent opinion on it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Purgatory then for this? It's a game you can pick up pretty quick.
Well, is this something that you've probably... Oh, no, we can Purgatory it, because we'll give it a try.
We should be able to find it. It came out on PC as well as PlayStation. I'm sure there's some sort of... Yeah, I'm sure somebody's gotten a HD version of that. Or we could just end up playing Grip, which is fucking great, which is the new version of it. It was just a completely separate game, I should mention, so maybe not. Okay, we'll put that on our Purgatory list along with Splatoon. And God, we might have I was hoping you'd played that one, because I'm really not sure if you've played this one, because it came out in the year 2000 when tactical shooters were fucking everywhere, and this was a brand new game. IDOS published it. It's not a Rainbow Six game.
Okay.
Have you guys played the Rainbow Six games, like the early ones?
Yes.
Like Rogue Spear and all that stuff.
Even the original Rainbow Six, I played a decent bit of it.
So this is what it's like. It's like Rainbow Six, except mixed with Splinter Cell.
Okay.
It's like a lone dude going after like bases. Is anything ringing a bell?
Oh, is this not? Oh. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about, but
it's got a really weird name. It's an acronym, but or an italicism, I guess. Which?
Not Graw, is it?
No, it's not.
No, okay, because that doesn't make any sense.
Time wise, this is what I say it.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Project IGI.
Okay, no.
I feel like I have played Project IGI.
Otherwise known as Project I'm Going In.
Okay.
Yeah, I've definitely played some Project IGI. But that feels like a complete hole in my memory. I have a PC version of this at home somewhere, I think.
Okay, I don't think it's available on Steam either, is it?
IGI 2 Covert Strike, I've definitely played more of.
Yeah, IGI was like it was like Delta Force or Rainbow Six, but you were one person, like he was mostly a sniper, but then he also kind of like, it was like pre-Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
He was like, this guy was like the original like Sam Fisher.
does it keep that sort of? Because again, like the Rainbow Sixes, and as you even said there, Delta Force, like almost kept that very real, raw sort of aspect to it. Does it do that, or does it get a bit arcadey like a Splinter Cell?
It's more well, like it's Rainbow Six stuff were super tactical. Delta Force had like the waypoints, but like the shooting was still arcadey. Yeah. That's kind of what this one's like. But you didn't have waypoints because you were on your own.
Okay.
So you didn't have to, or maybe you had waypoints. I don't know, but it was similar. Like you were outside of a base, and the whole mission is you going into that base and killing everyone, but trying to like, doing it from a like they don't know you're coming, so you can stealth your way in, or you can be crash bang wallop or whatever. But I guess we're sticking this on. God, we just cleared out a bunch of Purgatory and just stuffed a bunch more on there. That and Roll Cage might be hard to get, so we'll have to look into how to do that. And that's the last one on today's episode, and the last one on the list supplied by our good friend Jules M. Thank you so much to him and Chris Berg for sending in the games. This week we've added a bunch more to the list. We got Overwatch at 12, Braid at 17, and Driver at 28.
Nice.
Pretty good day's work. 3 more on Purgatory, gentlemen. We've got Splatoon, Roll Cage, and Project IGI.
Well, I've played some Splatoon at least. You've played a good amount of Roll Cage. I've played Project IGI, but just not much. But a quick refresh might do that.
Yes,
so
maybe.
I feel like these ones aren't terminal.
Okay, yeah, maybe a little watch some videos of IGI and it might, because it totally came out in like a melange of those games.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like to split apart. All right, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us, Dennis. What are you doing for the rest of your day, or what are you playing at the moment?
I wonder what I'm playing. I'm playing Dota and Rocket League mostly. I am playing Zombie U at the moment. So I'm a good bit into that. I'm just finishing up a replay through one of the Pokemon 3DS games, Alpha Sapphire, which is really, really top quality game. Way better than I was expecting. I kind of thought they'd all gotten a bit soulless, but actually no, they've just gotten better, and I've just gotten old. So yeah, really, really good game. So yeah, I'm enjoying lots of like spoiler alert. How we talk about Zombie U, it's really interesting.
Okay.
I won't say any more.
You're playing on the Wii U, aren't you?
Wii U, and I won't say any more.
All right,
okay,
James,
okay.
you're playing PC?
No, I guess I'm going to be playing Wii U on as soon as now I'm really got a fire under me to get started. Other than that, my clan and me and Clash Royale are kicking ass on the phone, getting them treasure chests. I've been busy. It's the only gaming I get to do. Dota, and I mean plenty of Dota.
Fair play. I got a Vive earlier this week.
Oh yeah,
so that was fucking nuts. Yeah, we were texting about that.
Yeah.
You should get you up here in the next couple of months to do a Vive. You can stay in the Vive room.
Okay, I might buy one and just work out where I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, that's the thing. The space is the problem, dude. Like I'm lucky if I push back the couch here, I've got enough. But yeah,
I'll just get one of those. I get like a folding bed, like one of those ones that just like spring into the wall.
I mean, I'll probably bring it home for Christmas actually.
Walsh Manor. Can two Vives like sync up to the same machine? That'd be the thing.
Oh god,
no, I don't think
like
so.
It would
but
destroy a machine.
Yeah, you could. There are some multiplayer games, but I haven't seen like matchmaking with friends on any of them. It's just like randomers. I was playing paintball with a bunch of kids. It was fucking weird. It was like so much fun, but it was like the first time I played Wii Sports kind of moment. Like, what the fuck is video games?
Yeah.
So yeah, if I bring it home, I won't have a PC for it, so I'll have to like basically put it in your house status. Yeah. So if you want to do that, I'll be happy to do that. Yeah, and apart from that, on the other side of the spectrum, I also got a Nintendo 64 off eBay.
Oh, nice.
I never owned one before, so I'm gonna try and hook that thing up today.
The better side of the spectrum, some might say.
Yeah.
Just wait till once you get your Dreamcast as well. I think you'll just sit there and be like, I wasted the early 2000s not having one of these.
I got those games. They arrived.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So I just need to buy the console now, I guess. Yeah. So we'll see about that.
Craigslist in the Bay Area, you'll probably be all good.
There's too many like retro game fans in the Bay Area though. They're all like scalping that shit. So
plus it's also like the Silicon Valley thing where they're all like, I don't care what it costs, just get me one.
Yeah, they're all just like rich and they like old tech. It's like literally the worst place probably to be for this shit.
Yeah.
I bet it's way cooler. There's probably also like more people selling them for the same reason,
Yeah, I think we just take a road trip to Arkansas, check up Craigslist.
Hit that Arkansas.
Arkansas, just find Dreamcast for like $5.
I like it. All right, let's wrap it up for this week. Thank you so much, Dennis Walsh, James O'Connor, and me, I guess. Thank you for listening or watching, doing whatever, having us on the background, putting up with it, cringing when we put your favorite game in at fucking 28. What's 28? 28's Driver. 40. Gone home. Sorry about that. Email us, lives@eternaloflife.com. If you have any suggestions, if you want anything changed, anything in Purgatory, let us know as well. Or anything in Parole Board, let us know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on a tournament. A tournament of lies.